Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you all, even though it is only virtually. I am Kim Vogel, and I am the co-manager of the Greenhouse, along with my wonderful partner and colleague, Jessica Eilerman, who I would like to introduce right now and who is going to talk about our little Zoom room here. Jess, take it away.
Thanks, Kim, and welcome everyone to St. Pete Pitch Night. So excited to have us all gathered together for an awesome celebration of great innovations happening right here in St. Petersburg. We have a packed evening, and in order for this to work, we need us to run on schedule. So we're going to get kicked off with some Zoom etiquette tips to kick us off here. So if you're new to Zoom, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a couple different options for you. That is where a mute function, an icon is. You can select that. We actually encourage everyone to be muted so we can have the focus on the speaker at any time throughout the program. And then there's also options on how you view. So if you go up to the top right corner of your screen, you'll see a little camera icon with a view text. If you click on that, you'll be able to choose a speaker, a gallery, standard or full screen. What we're going to recommend tonight is the gallery function, so you can be seeing everyone as they're speaking along with the other imagery. So go ahead and make those adjustments now. And we do have a variety of our colleagues that are going to be in the chat. And so if you have any technical questions or need any assistance at all, please just drop that into the chat and one of us will get with you to help troubleshoot right away, so you have a great experience. And more than anything, we just want to say thank you for joining us. This is really a great way for us to showcase our entrepreneurs and provide helpful, positive feedback. So please share those positive encouragement points and your feedback on their on presentations throughout in the chat. And with that being said, again, thank you for joining us. And I'm going to kick it back on over to Kim.
Thanks, Jessica. We appreciate that. We are, like Jessica said, so excited that you could join us tonight for our third St. Pete Pitch Night. St. Pete Pitch Night started as a dream of some really entrepreneurial people within this community and of entities like USF St. Pete and the Chamber and the Greenhouse and the city. And everyone was working together in this wonderful initiative that we know as Grow Smarter, and decided that St. Pete Pitch Night needed to happen. We needed to grow and develop this amazing pipeline of all of these entrepreneurs, of these startups. We continue as the Greenhouse to be the front door for all things small business. And we feel like St. Pete Pitch Night is our way to grow that pipeline and to be as supportive as possible as these companies not only start, but that they get the ability to grow here. So we are so proud of our 5 presenters that are here tonight, and we are really looking forward for you guys to hear them pitch. Jessica?
All right, so we are gonna kind of went through our task list here to make sure you have all the information you need to have a great evening with us. And so you might be thinking, okay, this is great, we're together for pitch night, but what's happening after this? So I just want to take a minute to kind of say, moving forward and beyond, pitch night is a commitment that our community is making together along with our great partners, Regions Bank and the University of South Florida St. Petersburg campus. And we're working together to have pitch night become just integral to our entrepreneurial startup scene. So tonight is one of what we hope are many pitch nights for our community. And it doesn't just end here for those that are making their presentations. We continue to work with our business owners and entrepreneurs that you'll be seeing tonight through the Greenhouse and all of our collective resources in our ecosystem to ensure that they can succeed with their journey and continue to have this innovation form here in St. Petersburg and thrive and succeed. So this is a commitment that we're all making together to continue to grow and promote and share the awesome energy that's happening here in St. Petersburg. Kim?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, no, that's okay.
It's the tech thing. It's the tech thing. Thanks, Jess. As Jessica said, we are totally devoted to this St. Pete Pitch Night, and we are so excited again that you are all here to join us. I would like to introduce the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Chris Steinacker, who would like to say a few words about this amazing community that we call St. Pete. Chris, whenever you're ready.
All right. Kim, can you hear me all right?
We gotcha. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. And Jessica, well done. And Kim, thank you very much. Hello again, everybody. I'm Chris Steinacker, President and CEO of the St. Petersburg Area Chamber of Commerce. And can you feel it? I mean, do you feel it in the air of St. Pete right now? Isn't something different? Haven't we just maybe turned the corner on this crazy world of 2020? I feel like there's positive energy all around us. And maybe it's because I woke up this week and I woke up to Small Business Week in St. Pete. We're the only city in the country right now celebrating Small Business Week. It's not a national thing, it's a St. Pete thing. It's how we wake up every morning and wondering how we can help our businesses grow, because we know that's who powers us. And so I'm excited that we are celebrating Small Business Week, and I'm super excited that we're celebrating the second COVID pitch night, the third overall of our St. Pete pitch nights. Here's a group of folks, Kim and Jessica and their team of Brittany and everybody else at the greenhouse that's worked on this, who's pursued through COVID to continuously try to find those entrepreneurs who have those ideas, who have those stories, who have those opportunities to help us change the world. And so not only do we have entrepreneurs in our community, but I really believe we have them in our greenhouse. So to the staff of the greenhouse and those who put this on, well done. It's hard enough just to get anything done, but to create new adventures during COVID like you all have really stimulates all the rest of us and all the entrepreneurs. So I think we're on the right path any way we do this. But to Regions Bank and USF St. Pete, thank you guys for taking the journey with us too. You have been with us from the very beginning to say, how can we be the best place on earth to start your business? What's it going to take? And we know it's going to take resources, and it's going to take people to make sure we understand how to invest in those businesses. We can't just give everybody a hug and say, hey, good luck with that. We got to give them resources too. So now you've got USF St. Pete and Regions and others stepping to the plate and saying, we get it. We're going to start putting our money where our mouth is, and we're going to start making these businesses grow. So I want to thank those as well. And to our sponsors of Small Business Week, First Citrus Bank and Duke, thank you all for taking the commitment for the whole week to make sure that we can convene our entrepreneurs of all kinds and tell the stories and keep telling the story till everybody in this community understands. If you have a dream, if you have a way of life that you want to live, do it in St. Pete. We can encourage it, and let's make some money at it, and let's employ some people on it, and let's create great things with it. I'm so inspired by what I see in these, and our last two winners were just so awesome to see. That Miles and Johnny, to me, are what Steve Jobs was talking about almost 11 years ago when he was talking about those crazy ones, right? In that commercial where he talks about, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of the rules. They have no respect for the status quo. You can't quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. I'm anxious and excited for tonight. Let's go change the world. Back to you, Kim.
Thank you so much, Chris. This is why we always have Chris kick us off. We appreciate that. As always, inspirational. Well, the real stars of the show are coming up here in a minute, but I do want to take a minute to introduce our wonderful MC, Esther Eugene. Esther is an entrepreneur too, you guys. She is the founder and CEO at All Administrative Solutions, which is a full service administrative firm that specializes in supporting companies like all of your companies with workload capacity concerns and critical day-to-day administrative functions, empowering them to successfully grow their businesses. Lots of businesses need an Esther right now, that's for sure. Esther is also an energetic professional with a proven record of program management, community outreach, with a wealth of expertise in developing public outreach initiatives and strong advocacy work. We are the lucky ones to have Esther Eugene in our community. Esther, it's all yours, baby. Take it away.
OMG. So how do you follow up that level of an introduction? Oh gosh. Guys, we have a tight schedule this evening, and I'll be acting as the master commander to get us through the 5 amazing pitches. And believe me when I say we have 5 amazing pitches. Let's get this party started. Each pitch will be given 6 minutes to present, followed by up to 10 minutes of a Q&A session with our judges. We have a team member dedicated to the stopwatch, and will be alerting us and you of when their time is up. An expert judge panel of local entrepreneurs was selected, and they will be joining us tonight to score each pitch. As we move forward, I want to introduce them. Let's give a warm welcome to our first local expert judge, Dr. Cynthia Johnson. Dr. Johnson is a senior manager for Pinellas County's Office of Small Business and Supplier Diversity, and Center Director for the Florida Small Business Development Center. That's a mouthful. The FSBDC at Pinellas County. As an economic development practitioner, she manages the department's entrepreneurial and small business assistance and development initiatives. As a trusted advisor to businesses large and small, government agencies, policymakers, and community leaders throughout Florida, she has built her career around the diverse and inclusive, interconnected aspects of economic development. She advocates for public policies and business practices that promote inclusion and marketplace diversity. I just want to take a moment to just say thank you, Dr. Johnson, for joining us this evening. I am a proud recipient of the work that Pinellas County Small Business and Supplier Diversity has done. Our second local expert judge is Rachel Carpenter. As co-founder and CEO of Intrinio, Rachel leads her team to reinvent the financial data supply chain. On Intrinio's platform, you can access fast, accurate, and affordable financial data through a powerful, easy-to-use API and marketplace. Software developers, financial innovators, analysts, educators, institutions, and startups are building tomorrow's innovations, and their data, the websites, the software, the terminals, mobile apps, algorithms, and more. The future of fintech is powered by Intrinio. Thank you, Rachel, for joining us this evening. Our third local expert judge is Dr. Sundaram. Dr. Sundaram is the Tiedemann Cotton Dean and Professor of Finance at Kate Tiedemann College of Business, University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. His educational background includes a master's degree in accounting and an MBA and a doctorate degree in finance. He has received the Faculty Recognition Awards in teaching, research, and service. He's an active researcher with publications in some of the top finance journals. He has also held leadership positions in professional organizations, nonprofit organizations, and higher education institutions. Currently, he serves on the executive board of the St. Petersburg Chamber of Commerce, yay! Board of the St. Pete EDC, board of St. Anthony's Hospital, and was 2019 chair of the Grow Smarter initiative in St. Petersburg. If you are not familiar with Grow Smarter, you have got to familiarize yourself with it. Our fourth and final judge is our local expert judge, Jim Donatelli. Jim Donatelli has served as the city president and senior vice president of Regions Bank for the past decade. He manages 325 people in 36 offices and has experienced annualized growth rates at Regions that prove his success. Jim is a St. Pete Chamber BOD member since 2014 and serves as past chair. Jim chaired the Finance Committee and co-chaired the original committee that created the Grow Smarter strategy for inclusive prosperity that led to the establishment of the St. Pete EDC, of which he is a founding and current board member. Jim is an active parent at Canterbury School of Florida, serving on the board of trustees and a longtime supporter of the United Way. I just want to take a minute to thank our judges for volunteering their time to participate in our second virtual pitch night. Thank you. The presentation order of tonight's pitches was randomly selected and revealed at 1 million cups. We're pleased to welcome our first pitch of the night to the stage, Carolyn Egan of Kinstack. Carolyn, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, Carolyn. All right, the clock will begin. Let's pitch.
As a native to the Bay Area, born and raised on these beautiful beaches here, it is where I discovered a big problem while on a family vacation a few years ago. And I am so excited to have the opportunity today to share a solution with you guys and to a problem that many of you may be experiencing. So on my my visit with my family, I was around the table with a cousin who I hadn't seen in a few years. And I wanted the opportunity to show her some pictures of my son's play and kayaking trip to catch up. And I couldn't find the pictures in my phone. I was super frustrated. There were thousands of pictures in my phone too. And I realized that there was not just there on my phone, they're at home on my laptop and on my hard drive at home. So I wasn't able to access some of these. While on the trip too, my cousin had a beautiful digital camera taking amazing pictures, I'm sure. So after the trip, we promised to stay in touch, but being able to share these photos with them and going through my phone at home of all the different pictures of the blurred pictures, the duplicates, trying to find the right one, it was so encumbersome. And I realized we have a big problem. We have thousands of photos and videos all over the place. Our laptops, USB drives, SD cards, 10 or more multiple devices at home. There's no easy way to privately organize, store, and share anything, family photos, videos, or files with family members. It's time consuming to sit down and organize it and build file folders and back everything up. And it's a manual process. There's got to be a better way. With Kinstack, how it works is Kinstack is a personalized private cloud storage solution that automatically organizes all of your photos, videos, and files intelligently into personalized categories, making it easy to find and share with friends and family privately. So you take everything into a private cloud container. We automatically organize it based on you. No Kinstack is exactly the same, where you can have the ability to share privately with your friends and family, and the ability to search and find anything and share, whether it's a video, a photo of something specific you're looking for, or even a report card or a recipe. The patent pending technology makes it easy, and it just works with a single, simple, useful design. We have over 100 customer interviews we have conducted, and believe you are not alone with this problem. It's a big problem and an even bigger market opportunity. Nothing stacks up to Kinstack with the privacy component, personalized automated organization, and the ability to grow with you and your family and building all of your own Kinstack for a legacy. So the business model, with our over 100 current trial users signed up, that we've signed up today and growing daily, we believe the try to buy, love it, and share it. And our customers will be able to enjoy unlimited storage space and never build a file folder again and have your own private storage container. So who's going to build this? I've had the opportunity to build and scale recently an opportunity and product from the ground up that scaled over 120 million in the past 2 years. I'm an expert in product development, big data, cloud technologies, and data visualization. and I've had a successful exit under my belt. I've partnered with strategic advisors for the past 2 years in development. I have some great folks that I've been working with. Some I've highlighted here today. 2 I've just signed up as advisors that I've been working with closely for the past 2 years. I'm super excited about that's not here. It's just really recent, literally this week. And our technical partners here as well. We've vetted the technology on the background and the costs. We're super excited. How are we going to get this into homes, phones, and hearts? With the viral product-led growth, with the internal sharing capability within the platform, and excellent execution in our digital marketing plans. Also, the value-added partnerships with selected companies we're looking at partnering with, in addition to IP licensing sales with selected manufacturers. So we're asking today, with the scheduled launch coming up with this winter, we couldn't be more excited. For our trial users out there today, we invite you to sign up if you're interested in trying KinStack. We want to talk to you, investors and future team members, so reach out today. Thank you so much. I've had so much fun, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to compete in this opportunity and to share the virtual stage with my fellow startup stars. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. All right, let's turn it over to our judges for a Q&A. 10 minutes back on the clock, please.
Hey, Carolyn, this is Rachel with Intrinio, local technology company. Thanks for your presentation. You did an awesome job. I have a question for you that's around competitive moat. So there are other players in this space that are really popular and have lots of users with easy synergies if you have a Gmail using Google Drive, for example. So I may have missed this, but could you tell us a little bit more about this kind of personalized AI approach, whatever you're patenting, that would prevent somebody like a Google doing the same thing for Google Drive?
Yes, so thank you, Rachel. So the question is building the moat around the business IP. So first and foremost, the big differentiator for KinStack in the competitive analysis is the first thing is the trust and the privacy. So for the direct competitors that have a lot of the current users on the platform, their data isn't private. There's a lot of user feedback that we've been hearing from is the privacy of the private cloud container. So that's a big differentiator. It's not really out there, and so there's that. There's also users. So we need to make sure that as we build our users, that builds that actual moat as well. It's patent pending, but at the end of the day, if Amazon, Google, or Apple wanted to build this, could they? With the private cloud storage, they'd have to convince users like myself and a lot of other savvy tech parents out there that they're going to keep it private. So it's a lot of backpedaling. Does that answer your question, Rachel?
Yes, thank you. Very helpful.
Hi, this is Sri Sundaram, and a quick question for you, follow-up. One of the things you talked about is valued partnership that allows you to scale the business. Can you talk a little bit about what you're thinking and how you would go about scaling the business?
Yeah, so the partnerships that we've identified a few organizations, for example, Shutterfly, where they have over 10 million users, that we would be able to have an opportunity to work with them in partnerships as a value add to them. So our value prop to Shutterfly in this example, with our conversations that we are looking to uncover and explore with folks like that, is around having users have more access to interesting, meaningful moments. Therefore, they'd be able to purchase more. So really the value prop there is if they were to convert 2% of their current customers to sell them one more thing at an average price of $20, it's over a $10 million opportunity for them. So there's a lot of like the added value approach with partners such as Shutterfly.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Carolyn, this is Jim. Real quick question, kind of two-pronged but opposite here. In the short term, what is your biggest opportunity you want to execute upon, and what is your biggest need to be able to make that happen?
So currently I am in the fundraising seed funding phase. as of last week, I might have added a Teams onto that too, because I can't execute this alone. It doesn't make sense to, if I were investing, and I have been investing in this to continue to build and fund it on my own bootstraps. I need to have talented folks to be able to do a lot of things in their expertise. Been working really hard to partner the right people for the right seat on the bus, and I have that today. I'm confident of it. So I'm super excited about that. So currently I'm in the seed funding fundraising phase that I'm going to continue to do different activities such as this to get in front of the right investors in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah. And was there a second one, or did I answer both?
You answered both.
Awesome.
Hi, this is Dr. Johnson.
Hi, Dr. Johnson.
How you doing?
I am doing great. Thank you.
Awesome presentation. Jen, you don't get to ask two questions. You kind of stole one of mine, but it's all good. You know me, I think of a new one. Carolyn, if you were afforded the opportunity to be today's recipient of the pitch contest, what would be your immediate use of funds? What would you use the funds for?
I am so glad you asked that question, Dr. Johnson, because I've been thinking about that too. Because if I look at my first 12 months of MVP building a product, I'm like, this is a blip, but this is a very important component. I'm bootstrapping this on my own. I have a really talented person that I'm bringing on that's helping me with this seed funding, marketing, go to market to get me to that place I need to be at to get the $500,000 fundraising seed funding I'm getting that my ask is of. My background, I have the ability to do that, but with her experience and taking smart sheets and all recipes to that seed and global, it's just amazing. She's already got me focused on 3 things to get me ready for the seed, investor ready, so I can get to that. So that will help me fund that, and then also put it in the hoppers and for future expenses. I can't imagine it being that much, but it's really a great start. Thank you so much for asking that, Dr. Johnson.
Hey, this is Rachel.
All right, Rachel.
Sorry, I have one more. Do I have time? Okay. What is your exit strategy? I can think of a couple. And if you get bought for $100 million by Google, are you going to stay in St. Pete?
I will stay in St. Pete. Absolutely. Born and raised here, not leaving. There's a big reason. I have 2 kids here too. So I'm selfishly wanting them to be able to have, build the tech community for jobs so that they can stay here and continue our family, our little village. So yes. And so in an organization with the profile such as large as Google, there's a handful of exit organizations and profiles that I've identified. So if it is a specific one or something similar, our exit strategy is within 5 to 7 years. Our first step milestone is to get through the seed funding, build the MVP, and build our user base up to that milestone number to take it to the seed funding, to Series A. And then from Series A, that's when the exit strategy would start to be implemented. And that needs to be baked out based on a lot of assumptions that need to be validated. But the 100 million mark in 5 to 7 years is where we're at. Our eyes are on.
Awesome. Rooting for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Listen, fantastic questions, Carolyn. Carolyn, you did a fantastic job. And that's truly simply how you capture the technology moment. Now you can relax until we're ready for final scoring. Remember, the chat room is open for a couple of minutes. I did see some questions pop up in regards to KenStack. Carolyn, so if you take a moment and respond, that would be fabulous. Judges are going to wrap up their scoring, and I am going to talk a little bit about the Entrepreneurial Academy. I'm a recent graduate of EA, and anyone who cares to lend me an ear, I talk Entrepreneurial Academy. I think it's my almost, if you ask me my name, Esther Eugene, and let me tell you about Entrepreneurial Academy. I have been an entrepreneur probably all of my adult life, here and there. Little stints in the corporate world, and then almost torn and brought back to the entrepreneurial life, and never really thought much past, oh, I have an idea, let me open up this business. never really thought about the importance of the pieces that connect the business until I registered through the Greenhouse for the Entrepreneurial Academy. I will tell you that the information that Barry, and I think I saw Barry log in. Hey, Barry. Barry, Kim, and Brittany, and the litany of presenters brought to myself and my classmates was phenomenal. The legalese of entities, knowing the numbers, accounting, making sure that the dollars make sense. Doing your research and your planning. You know, we talk about jumping out there and starting a business, but have you really mapped it out to ensure that that product that you want to bring to our area, St. Pete, is going to be one that will be beneficial for the community and for self. And that thing called marketing, you know, marketing was it was like the elephant in the room for me, and I didn't understand how important it was. But I will tell you, marketing, how to get it, how to keep it, how to grow your customer base is one of the key pieces to being an entrepreneur. And if not for the Entrepreneurial Academy, if not for Barry, if not for Kim, if not for Brittany, and the presenters, I believe that I would have, you know, been one of the people that has a business idea, start, stop, go back to corporate. Oh, here's another idea, start, stop, go back to corporate. But the Entrepreneurial Academy was the foundation for me this time around to ensure that I am stable in all of the pieces needed to be successful. So I encourage everyone, friends, family, everyone to participate, sign up for the Entrepreneurial Academy. I believe 2021 class will start in March. If you have an opportunity to jump on and get in, you will not regret it. It is a wealth of information and something that you will carry with you for years to come. So I encourage everyone to take an opportunity. And if you don't need it, please encourage someone else who's starting out or who has been struggling a little bit to definitely jump in and get the information. You can find the information in regards to the Entrepreneurial Academy on the Greenhouse's website and on the Chamber, St. Pete Chamber of Commerce's website. So please take a moment to research it and join in that 2021 class if you are able to. I typically don't recommend things, but I can recommend something that I myself took part in and that it was a benefit for me. So I wanted to just put that little plug and thank you for giving me the time. Want to jump in now because next up we have David Panraj. David, are you ready?
Yes, I am about to share my screen. Give me one second.
All right, David is the founder of Startup Space. The clock will begin now. Let's pitch.
All right, so thank you for this opportunity, Esther, and you'll see my screen come up in a second. So this journey started in 2008. I had just graduated from St. Petersburg College in Florida, and I had an analyst role at Tech Data. I quit that job to go change the world. I started a handbag manufacturing company, and I was pounding the pavements of St. Pete Beach and Clearwater Beach, selling the handbags. And fast forward to 4 years later, I hit a brick wall. And I got a call from my CPA saying, hey, the IRS considers you a hobby for having 4 years of losses. And with a lot of tears, I had to close that business down. And I went to work for Nielsen while I got my master's from the St. Pete campus of USF. But there was something that bothered me all along, which was why did that business fail? So I'd written down some of the steps, and in 2018, like all of you on this call probably know what this feels like. I got the bug to go back and start a new venture. So I quit my job and I went back and tried to figure out why the first business had failed. And the thing that stuck out the most to me was that I consider myself the ultimate hustler. I'm out in the streets every day. I'm well connected. I am willing to do what it takes, stay up till 2 a.m. every day and work. And I still was not able to connect to the resources in my community because, 3 months after I closed my business, I started seeing all of these resources in front of me. I found out about the Pinellas SBDC. I found out about Tampa Bay Wave. I found out about all of these resources. And I asked myself, how did I not know about them? And that's because founders have blinders on. And I said, I'm going to go back and fix this problem. So I started this company called Startup Space. The way Startup Space works, it's a free platform for businesses to be able to find resources in their community. And the people that pay for it are the businesses that actually provide this as a service. So it would be organizations like the SBDC that are funded to support the entrepreneurship ecosystem that pay for it. And our clients typically are 501c3s, universities, community colleges, family foundations, and we compete against community building platforms like Mighty Networks or Facebook groups and others that help provide that social fabric for entrepreneurship, but none of them dedicated to supporting the small business community. And on our platform, you get a whole bunch of different personas, small businesses, entrepreneurs, service providers, mentors, etc., all connected together through the Startup Space platform. And Startup Space platform is a all-in-one solution that helps bring inclusive communities into cities like St. Pete. It provides a virtual place to connect. It provides a resource map of all of the resources, funding, access to mentors, access to local programs, and it allows the providers of the ecosystem to be able to provide it in a connected way, but also allows them to get insights into the community they serve. So this is an actual dashboard from a 5-year impact report for one of our communities in Denver. They were able to use us to be able to better understand the ecosystem they serve and the resources that go into supporting them. And using the diversity and inclusion metrics from our platform, they were able to unlock $250,000 from JP Morgan Chase from their CRA dollars. We have stories just like this. We've had our community in Nevada get $175,000 from Google by showing the innovation we drive that helps connect the community. Today, we're trusted by leading nonprofits around the world. Some of them you might know like NACI, but also right here in Florida, we have the InLab at HCC is a client of ours, Pasco EDC. We've got the Capital City Chamber in Tallahassee, and then a 65,000 square foot innovation space funded by Broward County and NSU also use us as the brains to run their operations. Our business goals, our first year is to hit $500,000, which I'm excited to say we've crossed this year in our first full years of sales, 30 clients and 15,000 users. And we started this 100% bootstrapped, and we are today fully profitable. Our goal is to get to $3 million in year 2 and ultimately $10 million and really bring the community together in all the cities that we're in. And we do that by having a powerful team in place, of course, intentionally diverse, bringing in the best talent that's out there. We started with product since we were bootstrapped. We've now added customer success and business development and continue to hire great talent to help us hit our metrics. And before I end here, I want to just tell you a little bit about, I started this as a way to be able to solve a problem I had, which was that I could not connect to resources. The platform personally helped me, but there are stories like this from entrepreneurs across the country. There was somebody recently who sent us a note from Denver. She had struggled to launch her business and was struggling emotionally. And she put a note on the community forum saying, hey, what do you all use to help with some of the roadblocks and the mental blocks that you get as a small business? Because, starting a business can be very lonely. And immediately there were 5 people who jumped in and said, I go for a run, or listen to this podcast, or I use this meditation technique. And then she wrote back and said, thank you so much. I did not know where I can find a community like this. And today with COVID, there's so many challenges for small businesses, especially mental and emotional challenges. And this platform provides a community that allows you to continue to find resources and scale your business. With that, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, David. All right, back to our judges for Q&A. 10 minutes on the clock.
Hey, David, this is Jim. Great presentation. You're a very captivating speaker, and you seem very genuine as you present. Couple of questions for you. First of all, I'd say congratulations on reaching profitability in year one. That is very impressive. I'm curious to learn how you did that. How did you achieve that growth in year one? And then the number that you've targeted for year two is a significant increase over year one. Will those things that you worked on in this initial year, will they take you to that next level in year two, or do you have to do some things differently? So can you talk a little bit about how you got to where you are and what you need to do to go to the next level?
Absolutely. Well, thank you first for your feedback. The way we did it and the way we talk about entrepreneurship is we started with a radio flyer, and we put some customers in the radio flyer and asked for some money. And then when they told us what they wanted, we added the headlights and the taillights, and then got some more money. And kind of that's how we bootstrapped our way to build our product. And the reason why we're so confident about the 3 million mark is our contracts are actually 3-year contracts. So when you sign on year one, the revenue counts to year two, and every customer we sign is the proof for another customer, and every renewing contract is a proof for the next contract. So we're guaranteed at least $500,000 if we do our job well from existing contracts, but we've added business development roles, customer support roles, training roles, with the idea that now it gives us the capacity. And I'm a salesperson at heart, so I get now have a team to go out and execute with me.
That's wonderful. So you have some recurring revenue, part of the book, always renewing while you're adding in additional. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
David, this is Sri. And as you're looking at the scale, clearly, you have an existing product you're continuing to, but what are you finding what are additional capacities that you can add to your service that would really allow you to scale even further and build some synergies to what you're already doing?
Thank you, Sri. So the goal is to become a market research company and use our data to be the currency on which you trade information about small business starts. Today, we use proxies like EIN numbers to estimate small business starts, which is a terrible proxy because you don't get the solopreneurs, you don't get the tinkerers. And so you're not able to use small business starts as a way to predict economic activity. Our bet, and we're already doing this with leading researchers in the field. For example, we have the vice president for Kaufman, ex-vice president Victor Wang on our board, and we talk about these things. How do you become the currency for market data on small business starts? And we think that's where the future is. Our idea was Peter Drucker said, what you don't measure, you can't improve. But we have one step before that, which is what you don't manage, you can't measure. So we put the management system in place to then build the measurement systems to then be able to scale it.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Rachel from Intrinio. Congratulations on getting the ex-VP of Kaufman on your advisory board, because that is hugely strategic for you. Well done. Can you talk to us a little bit about what it takes to onboard a new city? That's kind of like your sales cycle, I'd imagine. So what's involved there? What's the lift look like to onboard and expand into a new city? And how many are you in right now? Is that how you measure it?
Yeah. So we've come up with this managed services model, very much like IBM. While the technology is the base platform, we actually charge on the managed services piece, where we have a 90-day checklist. The moment you sign with us, you get a 90-day checklist. Everything is templated, which allows us to be able to create scale without having to create additional cost on our front, right? And our bet is that if you implement really well, you'll be able to create that inroads into the community, because one of the things we measure very closely is engagement. Is when you deploy this platform, is their engagement. And so every community we go in, we connect the entire ecosystem, SBDC, scores, local incubators, etc., build that mesh, onboard the users all in a very scripted model, and then put the service model on top of that. So for example, in cities where we've been for a while, Rachel, we've actually been able to now go and do market level data that is significantly more margins than the base model. So you can charge up to $100,000 to do these more extensive market research data because you're building off of the existing mesh you've created. And that's kind of the model.
Got it. Thank you.
David.
Do we have can I ask one question or?
We have time, absolutely.
Okay. I just had a quick question for you, David. To be clear, your customer, I know you get your money from the government agencies, the nonprofits. The customer, who's utilizing the data that you're providing? Is it your everyday entrepreneur, or is it just for your customer base that you're getting your contracts with?
The data that we use is actually to measure programmatic support. So they are the SBDCs, the scores, the 501c3s. They use the data. The entrepreneur is on the platform for a completely different reason. It's because that's how they get access to the programs that are being provided by the community. So you have things like a interactive business model, Canvas, you have a place to load your files. For example, InLab at HCC, they use us for their grant making process. So you apply through Startup Space, all of the judges are on Startup Space reviewing the applicants, they get vetted, and then the technical assistance get provided through the platform. The end user is the consumer of InLab services. InLab is our customer.
I follow you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
David, is your hometown market one of your clients yet?
So the operating word is yet. We've got great advisors like Sri, who's been a mentor from day one. And some of these processes take a little while to evolve over time. But yes, definitely in the talks. And I would say very soon. We've got all the people making decisions on the call here today. So very soon.
Excellent.
Right. Any other questions? Great. Thank you, David. It's your turn to relax until we're ready for final scoring. And again, remember the chat room is open for a couple minutes. So as the judges wrap up their scoring, please, if you see a question specifically to Startup Space, feel free to respond. I'm talking a little bit in regards to some upcoming events with the Greenhouse. Tomorrow, October 22nd, we have St. Pete Supports Her Women in Small Business panel. And we have some really strong entrepreneurs who will be participating in that particular panel. We have Sarah Guest with Cyberlicious, Ronshawn Brown with the Nurse Practitioner of Florida. We have Monica Leonard, Molly Suds, and we have Melody Mendora, Oslander is her last name, with La Batterie. Please, if you have an opportunity to jump on that virtual event, go to the Greenhouse and you will see the information for registration there. Also on Thursday, we have Bridging the Gap Between Business and Finance. You know, this is something, and again, with the entrepreneur class, we learned business and finance, these are two of the most important things that we need and that we have to really pay close attention to. So if you have an opportunity to jump on that virtual platform, please do. And then on Friday, October 23rd, we have Greenhouse Connects, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Business. Another great one, and definitely, again, if you have the opportunity, please take a moment to jump in on that opportunity also. If you go to the Greenhouse's website, you will see all of the different events coming up. You'll see all of the different classes that they are offering, and even some informational pieces for you to benefit from. So definitely take a moment to jump on that. We should be wrapping up, I believe, for our judging. Awesome. I just got the signal. Fantastic. Again, thank you guys. Thank you, David. And then we are going to move forward with Rob Sanchez, founder of Wanna Go. Welcome, Rob. Are you ready?
I am.
Fantastic. Clock will begin. Let's pitch.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Rob Sanchez. I'm the founder of Wanna Go. You know, when I got to St. Pete almost exactly 2 years ago, I could tell immediately that this city was different. It was special. It was just very active, super friendly, and it really felt alive. You know, I'd go to all these farmers markets and local events, and people would actually come and talk to me, and they would come up to me and they'd share suggestions about things to do, and they'd tell me all the things that they loved about this city. And it really felt like it was a community that wanted me to be a part of it. So I was super excited. I jumped right in and went out there and tried to explore all of St. Pete. But to be honest, it was pretty difficult. I didn't know anything about the city. I had to do endless Google searches, kind of take a look at Facebook calendars and local blogs and all these different local websites. And I had no idea, what was high quality and what wasn't. But eventually I started finding the right things. I was able to try things like kayaking through the mangroves of Weeden Island. I was able to do yoga at the swanky Hollander Hotel, go to Rowdies games and hang out with friends downtown. I was able to check out some new restaurants that were started right here in St. Pete, but are now growing elsewhere. I even had real American Ninja Warriors teach me parkour, which was pretty cool. And, I knew that I wanted to start a company that could help other people experience the same excitement and connectedness that I felt when I was exploring St. Pete. So I got together with my business partner and we started getting to work. And about 2 months ago, we launched. And this is Wannago. It's a platform and a membership for trying new experiences, exploring your city, and making new memories with friends. We handpick tons of activities for you to try every month, and we write detailed guides with everything you need to know in order to feel like an insider when you get there. You can easily reserve and book everything in the app with just 2 taps, and you can invite friends and go together. The way it works is our members buy sets of activity credits, and they can use these credits to redeem and reserve everything inside the app. They're always going to save some money, generally between 20 and 40% in order to do that, but everything is included with your credit purchase. So there's no additional fees, no additional purchase required at these businesses. Everything you need is included. And the plans range from $19 to $49. And for our local business partners like Stacia from The Blend or Russell from Sweetwater Kayaks, we really work with them to try to bring in people like you, loyal locals, new residents who are really interested in discovering and supporting the local business community that makes it so special. So we work with them. We don't charge them anything up front. We work with them directly to buy their experiences up front and in bulk. So we set a rate that makes sense for both of us, and we actually purchase those up front because we believe that these partners are worth investing in. Now, we're definitely not the only player in the local experience market. You've got, on one hand, you've got the local directories and kind of marketplace businesses, but they really fall short a lot of the time because they simply provide too much information and it gets overwhelming and there's not enough motivation to get you to actually go. So on the other end, you have the deal sites like Groupon, right? And of course, it's great to save a bunch of money, but they really burn their bridges with the local businesses because they devalued the brands that they worked so hard to build. And they really brought only these deal seekers who were pretty cheap and had bad attitudes. And so, the businesses are tired of that. And then our model is actually pretty similar to ClassPass, which took the group fitness and wellness market by storm and has accumulated over 1 million members and a valuation of over $1 billion. But really, they don't touch 90% of the local experiences that we do. So our team is pretty small. It's myself and my co-founder, Basil. We've been best friends for about 6 years. We've worked on so many projects together. We actually first met at a hackathon 6 years ago where we built a product that was very similar to this, helping people try to find things to do and people to do them with. And ultimately that didn't work out, but it wasn't something we could let go of. It's always come up, and when I moved to St. Pete, the need really rose again. And so we decided to push forward. So I'm an app designer and marketer by my background. Basil is a full stack cross-platform developer. And we're really excited about what we've been able to do with just the two of us. To get where we are now, we were able to fully bootstrap since we could build the product ourselves. It's cost us less than $5,000 in order to get where we are. And the majority of that went directly to the local businesses that we work with. So since launching about 2 months ago, we've been able to get around 60 signups and 20 local business partners on board. That's led to about 40 experiences being tried and 100% 5-star reviews on those. In the shorter term, we really need to amp up our marketing and start expanding, not just in St. Pete, but across the Tampa Bay region. After that, we'll start to look at other cities, probably mid-sized cities that have a high population of young new movers and a really vibrant entertainment scene. So we all know that the world really took a hit in 2020. The local activities and experiences market was really badly affected. And on top of that, we've been dealing with all these new anxieties around social isolation and being away from our families and friends and not being able to go do things. And while we know that it might not be the fastest recovery in the world, it's going to take some time, we believe that this is a fundamental need. We believe that people like to be connected to others and like to go explore and feel that they're part of the community. And so when people are ready to go, Wanna Go will be there, and we hope that you'll join along. Come to wannagostpete.com and get going.
All righty, thank you, Rob. Back to the judges for Q&A. 10 minutes on the clock.
Rob, great presentation and a wonderful idea. My question for you is, as you curate these various experiences, and you think about, St. Pete, now you're looking at Tampa Bay, and then extending to other areas, who helps you? Can you talk a little bit about the process of curation and how you're able to do that, and how do you anticipate expanding markets in the future?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, to be honest, I don't think we have it fully solved yet. We are based in St. Pete right now, but I really think that it's important on a platform like this that we do curate, we handpick these things. Everything on this platform and everything going forward has been tried by me or eventually someone on my team. And I think that that's very, very important. I think in order to get that in other cities, there's a couple approaches, but one we've thought about is going to kind of the local, I'll say influencers or local blogs, finding the I Love the Bergs of different areas, right? Who have a good reputation, a good understanding of that market, and working with them in some capacity to either, have us, work really closely or just, kind of give us guidance on where to start looking. But I do think it's going to take some boots on the ground, at least in the beginning, to get out there and explore things. And personally, it's something I'm very excited about. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who like to, go out there and try these activities. And I think it's a matter of building that first base of, activities on the platform, as it's always going to continue to change. And that's part of the benefit of it.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Rachel with Intrinio. Great presentation. I always wish I had a tool like this when I'm visiting a new city, so very excited. My question is, can you clarify a little bit for me how you make money? Because what I understood from the pitch was you're buying at full price activities from partners, but then you're giving a 20% discount to the users. So can you help me understand how you guys are making money?
Yeah, so we actually buy at a discounted rate. So we buy up front. It depends on the business, it depends on the industry, and it will also evolve over time. We aim for around a 50% mark, but it totally depends on the business. And honestly, right now, we're less focused about optimizing for profitability and more focused on supporting these businesses and getting them on the platform. But the goal is to get them at a rate that makes sense for both of us, and then we add on a margin on top of that. And right now, we sell packages of credits, but the plan in the nearer future is going to be a subscription. We just didn't think it was a good time with COVID and also being a new business. We thought, it might be an easier way to get people to try things on a one-off purchase, but it's something we're going to consistently evaluate. And we aim for around 30% margin from any of those credit purchases.
Okay, I gotcha. So you're buying in bulk, which gives you a significant discount, and then you're just giving a little bit less of a discount to your end users.
Correct. And
got it.
We want the members to get a discount. We think it's a good incentive, but we're trying to make the platform not about the discounts, about discovering and supporting local. But there is an advantage to booking through us as well.
Got it. Thank you.
Rob, this is Dr. Johnson. Question for you. Knowing that right now everybody is using the virtual platform to find out where they want to go. And so that's a great name, by the way, quite catchy, where they want to go. So how are you promoting the platform to utilize Wanna Go?
Yeah, so right now we're doing effort through our own channels of Instagram, our mailing list. We're also promoting inside different Facebook groups like the I Love St. Pete group. And we're also looking at, and we've had some success working with local influencers to come out and do the experiences and talk about it to their audience. Really, local press, I think, is also going to be a channel that we need to look at, because what we're trying to do is get that initial base of people coming in, because Wanna-Go is inherently a social product. It's something that you want to do with friends. It's something that you're going to talk about with people if you're enjoying the product. So we have a referral program built in where you can give credits to people and get credits as well. So we're really hoping that that ends up being the main marketing channel in the longer run, is member-to-member referrals. But we know we have to get that initial base. And actually, one of the things we're in the process and have done a bit of is giving out free credits and free trials, because the way we look at it is once you have those credits, you really start to understand the benefit of having prepaid for them, because it makes the booking process and the redeeming process so easy. And so we're looking to get people in, and especially when we launch that subscription, we're hoping that we can make that money back within 3 to 4 months. And to us, it feels good because that money's going directly to support these local businesses anyway. So we're basically taking and getting people out into the community to explore and hoping that they'll stay engaged with us.
Hey, Rob, it's Jim. More 2 comments than questions. And one will tag on to what Rachel said is when I travel to a new city, I find it incredibly frustrating when I go and do a Google search and say top 10 things to do in city X. And if you do that for any city like just St. Pete, the number of responses that you get and how messy that is, it's really frustrating. So there's great opportunity for you there to work on kind of search engine optimization with your product. And then I second your comment around taking away the promotional aspect, meaning discounted promotional aspect of your product offering. It might be that you do, if somebody's a member of Wanna-Go, they get preferred seating or a special booking time, and it's not necessarily price related. So that's good for your business partners, and it's good for you, and it would be of value to your customers. And then last comment, just something for you to think about. You've got a lot of these TDCs, so these tourist development corporations like Visit St. Pete Clearwater. That's a place that a lot of people go when they do searches. And if you could become the preferred choice with all of these TDCs for marketing, that offering for those communities could be an interesting niche for you.
Those are all great feedback. I really appreciate the thoughts, and they're definitely avenues we're considering.
And all the other questions I had, my fellow judges already asked them. So well done.
Thank you.
All righty. If there are no other questions, I'm going to say in the words of Tracy Smith, Rob, your presentation makes me want to go. So great job. Great job. Thank you. You can join the other pitches until final scoring is ready. And again, the chat room is open for a couple of minutes as the judges wrap up their scoring. Wanted to make a couple of mentions. If you have not had an opportunity to go to the peer marketplace, please take some time Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to go down and support our local entrepreneurs that are there. Please take the time to do so. And then in addition, we also have another event taking place on Saturday, the Bay Area Women's Empowerment Virtual Expo, sponsored by the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, a community discussion on race, health, and policy. Take a moment to check that out as well. Next up, we have Ashley Haywood with Embrew Tea. Welcome, Ashley. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All righty, and the clock will begin. Let's pitch.
Okay. I have a really hard time prioritizing myself. I have this bad habit of spending my day doing things for everyone else, and rarely do things make it on my to-do list that are specifically for me and what I want to do. But there is one thing that's been a constant, one thing that does bring me back to myself and my joy: tea. Putting my hands around a warm cup of tea and bringing it close and feeling the steam on my face before I take those first few amazing sips brings me right back into the present moment. And I've been a long time tea drinker, but honestly, I haven't really been into loose leaf tea. It's just so time consuming trying to figure out what blends I like and how much sweetener to use and what kind. It's always been such a hassle, and I had the tendency to just have a mediocre cup of tea from a grocery store tea bag just because it was easy. But then it dawned on me 13 years ago that if I could have a tea bag with the blends that I liked in it and a little bit of sweetener, I could have a perfect cup of tea in record time with no cleanup. And I remember thinking that with tea being the most consumed beverage in the entire world and people having sweetened it for hundreds of years, there had to be a company making a sweetened tea bag. So I did what anyone else would do. I went to Google and I searched every which way for a sweetened tea bag, and I found nothing. I had stumped Google. I kept checking back for years after that eureka moment, thinking that one of the big tea companies would have to come out with something because the idea was so obvious and I just really wanted it. But they never did. I ended up getting married, moving out of the country for a while and moving back. I ended up here in Florida. I had a couple of kids, and then my life looked completely different. I was still working full time, but I was wiping more noses and butts than I ever thought I would. And I had no idea that when you had kids, you had to feed someone something every minute of the day and still try to remember that my husband existed. At that time, all I wanted to do was drink a freaking cup of hot tea before it got cold. I was going insane. I really felt like I was lost in this life that I created, except in those moments of the first few sips of a great cup of tea. And around that time, my husband bought me Elizabeth Gilbert's new book at the time called Big Magic. And this book is about the universe giving us ideas and asking us to run with them and do something. And if we don't, then the universe gives the idea to somebody else. It's why everyone in this room's probably had a really great idea, but they didn't act on it, and the universe gave it to somebody else. Well, my big magic was the sweetened tea bag, and I wasn't about to let the universe give it to somebody else. This was the part of me that was missing. I had my purpose now, and I couldn't wait to make tea for everyone that I knew. But realistically, it's one thing to make tea for myself or my friends and family, and another to create a business around an idea and a product that nobody knew existed. Did you know that it took 15 years for sliced bread to become popular and for people to buy it? It wasn't until Wonder Bread created a story around the brand and really spread the idea. And I knew as a marketer that I could spread my idea. So I created my tea blends and I launched a website. And then in February 2017, I went to Localtopia and I found my very first customer. That event turned into my biggest sales day of the year, and it showed me that my instincts were right. Tons of people wanted a sweetened tea bag and an easier way to a great cup of tea. And like this first customer, the loyalty of my repeat buyers accounts for 32% of my total revenue. My customers are obsessed with two things: the flavor and the convenience. I launched with 5 flavors to start, but 2 of them quickly became my best sellers and still remain best sellers to this day, almost 4 years later. The Lavender Chamomile Kick, which is lightly sweetened with lemon-infused organic sugar and has some cayenne in there that gives you this warm tingle in your throat. And then my personal favorite is the Creamy Honey Oolong. It's blended with granulated honey and tastes exactly like a butter cookie. And it wasn't that long ago that I was hand bagging these blends in a commercial kitchen one by one. Talk about time consuming. But now I have a US-based co-packer that helped me over that hurdle of manufacturing. And my business is changing. For almost 4 years, Embrew was my side hustle. I was working nights and weekends to try and move the business forward. And then 2020 happened and I lost my corporate job, but I couldn't be more excited to be dedicating myself full time to Embrew and in regular business hours. It's so exciting. I've spent the past few months actually working on a rebrand. So I have a new website that just launched on Monday night, and here it is with the future of my packaging. I'm now working with a digital agency and a natural food sales team and seeking investors to help carry me through this growth period. It's super exciting, and there are a few specific ways that you can support me if you'd like. from buying tea from the website at inbrew.com or signing up for the newsletter. But even better, asking your favorite retailer or brunch spot if they have sweetened tea bags from Inbrew. At the very least, I hope you'll share my story with your friends and family and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. This thing's going to be big, and I'm happy that it all started right here in St. Pete.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Everyone loves a nice hot cup of tea. Back to our judges for Q&A. 10 minutes on the clock.
You have me craving a cup of tea. This is Rachel from Intrinio. Very, very compelling presentation. I loved your personal story there. 2 quick questions for you. How much do you charge on average for whatever size packages you have? And are you at a place right now where you're struggling with scale, getting a lot of demand in and needing to produce?
So to answer your first question, my product comes in bags with 10 tea bags. Each unit has 10 tea bags that are pre-sweetened, and they're $15.95. So it's a premium price, but it has premium tea inside. And the reason that the price is what it is, I source everything as close to the farm as possible, and I'm very specific about what goes in there. So right away, when I started the business, I did not want to play the price game. I didn't want to be the low, competing on price. And it was super important to me. I found out early on that you can really be unethical in the way that you make tea, source tea. There's a long history of it I won't get into, but I wanted to do it better. And I wanted to know and have relationships with as many of the farmers and producers as I could. And for your second question, really what I'm struggling with right now is distribution. So I have just entered a relationship with a sales team and a natural foods broker, but I wasn't approaching retailers in mass, just small boutique stores, because my product wasn't really shelf ready. So I still have my bags in the pouches, and that's not really appropriate for the bigger retailers. So that's why I'm moving towards those tubes that you saw earlier in my presentation, and those should be ready in a few months. But once those are ready, then we're going to go full force in retailers and go after the wholesale account.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Ashley, if you were awarded the pitch tonight, what will you use the dollars for?
Immediately, it would be to buy that packaging. So right now I'm holding until the end of Q4 because I've spent a lot of what I've earned this year, having bankrolled the business since the start. This is the time period where you're kind of waiting for Q4 to happen when, I get 40 or 50% of my yearly sales in this quarter. And it's questionable with COVID and Q4, how this, without events, I guess without as many events, that was a big part of Q4 for me. So I'm kind of holding. I have a lot of product made. I have the tea bags. I haven't put them into their final packaging. I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens. And the $5,000 will immediately go to packaging, as well as getting my new branding fully trademarked.
Ashley, this is Jim. A couple questions for you. If this blows up in a positive way, the way that you're hoping, and this whole strategy really takes off for you, can your supply chain and the growers that you work with handle that type of growth?
The fast answer is that I don't know, but I suspect not. So in that case, I will need to work on going deeper and wider in my supply options. I work with a direct trader who works directly with farms. And so there will be a lot more planning involved. And so in the future, I'm going to have to work with her in order to pre-order for future harvests from the farmers that she does work with. But it is going to be a challenge. There are certain components that I know that I'm going to outgrow. So my lavender comes from a farmer out in Washington State, and even buying 10 pounds, 20 pounds at a time, he struggles to fulfill. So I can already feel that pain coming. And I have had to pivot on some of my ingredients already, like chamomile. And especially during COVID, there has been quite a disruption in supply chain and wellness ingredients specifically. So it's been quite a challenge to get the product made in this time, but I'm confident that there is enough out there for me to find and do it appropriately and ethically to continue with the flavors that I have.
One last question, and then I'll stop here. But talk a little bit about why you chose to go the B2B path as opposed to the direct-to-consumer path. And with technology that's out there today, you're seeing a lot of companies moving towards direct-to-consumer, and you're taking a more traditional approach to distribution.
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply that that was the only route that I was moving forward with.
Okay.
I have hired a digital agency. They're the ones that implemented the rebrand and launched the website. They are also working on SEO, and they will be helping me manage my digital campaigns direct to consumer. So yes, I am making a big effort there, and I have a subscription that will launch in the beginning of next year that will also be specifically for direct to consumer. And customers will be able to sign up for a subscription and potentially order without the tube. So they'll maybe buy their first order would come with the packaging, and then subsequent orders would just come with the interior packaging so that it could ship flat, and they would save a couple of dollars on the shipments, and it would be a lot more eco-friendly for me not to ship them the entire package.
Yeah, and the increased profit margin on direct-to-consumer may not stress your supply chain as much. You might not need as much volume to make the same amount of profit. So
that's true.
Two approaches there.
Yes, correct. And it's a struggle, and it's a double-edged sword to try and make sure that my margins can still remain healthy, because you do have to buy those sales for direct-to-consumer just in the same way that you do when you're selling at wholesale. But yes, indeed, there can be a much richer margin there.
Ashley, this is Sri, and as you look at continuing to bring in new products or new types of tea, so can you talk a little bit about what is your goal with regard to new product innovations that's going to occur, and how you go about planning, doing that, because there's a cost involved, obviously, to that. So I'm curious to hear about your strategy for scalability.
So I currently have 8 or 9 flavors, and they flow in and out depending on seasonality. So I do have some seasonal blends that I release during specific times of the year, and that really helps generate sales around those products, and people really look forward to them. When it comes to my process for creating new flavors, it's really where I see a hole in the assortment and types of teas that I'm most interested in, and also what my customers ask for. So one thing that has been brilliantly effective for me in the last 3.5 years is going to events and having face-to-face conversations with customers while they're tasting my teas. It's like I did a case study for 3.5 years. I have this dialogue with them, and I know immediately if I launch a tea and I have an event, whether or not it's going to be a big seller or not. So it's a really great environment for me to test out new flavors that I think taste great, but it really confirms things when I have customers, especially my repeat customers, but even new customers trying the teas, and they give me immediate feedback. So scalability, it is difficult to manage a lot of different SKUs and try and keep them in stock. So I want to be conservative in that. I feel like I can be successful with a small group of products for right now. And there is something in the assortment for almost everybody.
Thank you.
All righty, if we have no more questions, thank you, Ashley. Great job. You can join the other pitches until final scoring is ready. Also, remember the chat room is open for a couple of minutes as the judges wrap up their scoring. All right, our last and final pitch, we have L'Oreal Holloway, founder of Cultured Books. L'Oreal, are you ready?
Hello, yes I am.
Fantastic.
All right.
You're ready to share. I won't stop the clock until I see that you're sharing. All right, I see you sharing. Good. Clock will begin and let's pitch.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And hello, my name is L'Oreal Holloway. I am the owner and head book pusher here at Cultured Books, where our mission is to nurture a literacy lifestyle within our families in St. Pete. So, how we began. Trayvon Martin the reason why almost everything involving with his case, the verdict of the Zimmerman v. the Florida State. I felt like I needed to do something, anything to help people see Black people, us as human beings, to not be afraid, to just see us as just regular people. So what I did was we attended city council meetings. I went to protests, but those things weren't really me. They were more performative, and I didn't feel connected to impacting any change doing them. So I thought about, well, how can I do something? And it led me to this quote, which I love, and I constantly, anytime I feel defeated doing something, I read it. It is, I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. So my something is just planting seeds, changing the narrative of how people view Black people. And we do that. Cultured Books does that with children. Older people, they might be set in their ways, but we can grow empathetic, compassionate little people. So we created Cultured Books, a multicultural children's bookstore located in historic 22nd Street. It is a resource for families looking for books that are full of affirmation. So we highlight positive messages. Most books, well, not most, but a lot of books that are marketed to Black people and people of color, they might be rooted in struggle, whether it be the civil rights era or enslavement or even camps. So we want to make sure that Black people and people of color, we have stories about joy and just about everyday living. So we really focus on highlighting them. So we do this through our book clubs, our story times, author events, and an amazing film series that was cut short because of COVID. So like many small businesses during COVID, we had to pivot. It is not just a buzzword, but it is a do or die action word for small businesses. So because bookstores, they're really like social experiences. Touching a book, conversating with people in their face to face. We couldn't do that. So in quarantine, we launched Community Read Out Loud, which was a community story, a weekly story time that we invited community members to read their favorite children's books. Even some children read some books to community members over Facebook. We've also launched the Book Report Project to alleviate the financial burden of purchasing books. We allow youth to purchase books with the Book Report. And we're conducting research on that right now, which is really fun. And we're also launching a web series to keep consistent content for our customers. We're launching a web series, Read About It. And what that is connecting books to people, places, and events in Tampa Bay. So as a result of COVID and the social unrest, our sales in 1 month, the month of July, was a lot. We had increased sales. What we made in 2019, we made over in just one short month. So with more sales equals more customers. And we were in the news. Oprah's Book Club gave us a shout out. We won awards. We're even on the nightly news with Lester Holt. So more news equals more connections. So if we were to receive some funding from this pitch night, we would want to allocate the funds to hire a marketing person, not just a marketing person, but someone who just works with Cultured Books. So we can create those, we can transition those first-time buyers to lifetime customers. We've had new families, we had schools purchase books for their libraries, we've had nonprofits purchase books in bulk to send out to communities who do not have access to it. We've also had book clubs across the country just call in and order 18 books of whatever book just to support our business. And we've also had government agencies buy as well. So my name again is L'Oreal J. Holloway of Cultured Books, and I just encourage you to read more Cultured Books. And you can find us at on social media at Cultured Books or online at culturedbooks.org. So thank you so much for this opportunity to pitch and just let you know what we're doing at Cultured Books right now.
Thank you, L'Oreal. Back to our judges for Q&A. 10 minutes on the clock, please.
Hi, L'Oreal. This is Dr. Johnson. I was so inspired by what inspired you. So yeah, it is so very true that each one can really make a difference. So congratulations to you for having the insight to make a difference in what was meaningful to you. Mm-hmm. And as an educator, I have a little special soft spot in my heart for educators and books and book clubs. I see that you did a nice pivot during COVID.
Yes.
And as education and the need for books continue to rise in various communities, I heard you say we, but I didn't hear much about your business model. Are you a sole owner? How do you, manage your business and your cash flow? What's the business model of your business?
Okay, thank you so much for your feedback and your question. So prior to COVID, I was a solopreneur, meaning just one person. But since COVID, I've been able to hire two additional staff members. And I'm so just thankful that and blessed that I can pay them more than minimally required. But our business model is books. We are a retail bookstore. However, we do not just sell books. So for the sale of books, our customers are families, individuals, and then also organizations. Organizations, they usually buy in bulk. But our families who come in off the street, they are able to purchase books weekly, monthly, at their leisure. So with our business model, we want to be consistent and just be on their, on their radar. So just switching it up, not necessarily switching it up, but for holiday, we will have a subscription service for people to purchase books, not only for 1 month, but 3, 6, and 9 months. So we're thinking of how we can keep the customers coming back and not just be a one-time customer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
L'Oreal, this is Rachel from Intrinio. I am just so grateful to know that there's a resource like this so that one day when I have kids, I make sure I don't raise them to be assholes. So thank you for that. I love the model, and I just have I also really love the idea of a subscription service that is super popular right now, and I think that would go over really well. That'd be a really smart way to even pivot further into COVID. So love that. Yeah. My question is, did you ever think about franchising in a sense, about other locations and other cities?
Yes, it's so funny. I at the end where it says schools, families, I had pop-ups on there just because we've had people reach out and ask for a pop-up location in their own city. And how that would work for Cultured Books, we would just need to, still require additional help because we are a team of 3, but to require to have formalities for people to go by and guidelines for branding. But what my dream would be to, yes, have franchises in various neighborhoods. So if it's in a neighborhood that is predominantly East Asian, you will see mostly East Asian books, the dominant book. So it's books for their community. If they were they're speakers of Spanish, then you'll see lots of bilingual or just Spanish speaking books, or not Spanish speaking, but I guess Spanish books. So yes, that is a goal of mine. I feel that during COVID, goals can be done like right now. So we're in a little bit of talks of having a pop-up in Ruskin right now.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Thank you.
Have any more questions?
Yes. Hi, this is Shri. First, again, congratulations on the wonderful, it truly is inspirational. You've gotten tremendous amount of attention in the media, and congratulations to you for
it's overwhelming.
And as I look at from a business standpoint, what are some things that you're hearing from feedback from it that you think can allow your business to grow, given that the attention you're getting for the worthy cause that you're doing? And what are some ideas and thoughts you have about future growth?
Partnership. So I think that nothing can really, or thank you for your question, but I don't think much can happen without community and that in part unity within our community. So partnering with organizations, like prior to COVID, we had a international film series where we had international family films viewed, paired it with a book and paired it with eats and treats. And during COVID, we really had to partner with others to get things done. So I think partnering with organizations like the Raise, for instance, they do a summertime reading for kids. So partnering with those organizations and getting our word out that we are a resource, not just for this street in particular or just the Black community, but for all families looking for children's books. I know that there's a misconception being a Black-owned bookstore. After we had a article published in the Times, even though people didn't know about us, we've had a customer say that they didn't know it was okay for them to come in. So I know that's a misconception, but when they come in here, they see that we have all books about all people and they feel welcome. So I think broadening our, letting people know who we are, partnering with organizations having literacy programs would be helpful to scale.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Absolutely, Jim.
Great. So I feel like I'm echoing the sentiment of all of the judges. What amazing work, what amazing purpose. You're inspirational, and the work that you're doing is inspirational, and keep at it, keep at it.
Thank you.
I'll ask a little basic question here. If you were to be selected as the winner of tonight's contest, how would you use that money, and how would it help you further your growth in your business?
Yes. So the first thing I would do is respond to the job applications that I have and hire an intern. Because one thing that, even though people can be interns, I do believe in paying people what they're worth. So I would have a contract for this holiday season starting from November until maybe February for someone to help with our marketing, but our communication as well. We get tons of emails and phone calls that a team that is so small cannot get to at a rate that one is okay for me. So I think one thing we signed up for is Zendesk, so that will help us navigate all the communication from social media to emails to phone calls all in one place, which is great. But having a person just dedicated to that will help us catch up from the fall, and it will help us be great during this holiday season.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. And if we have no more questions, I want to thank you, L'Oreal. Thank you for your pitch and thank you for the service that you're providing. The chat room, again, is open, L'Oreal. I see a lot of moving sentences as it relates to cultured books. Please take a moment to review. If there's anyone who has questions, respond to them. The judges are going to wrap up their scoring at this time. And that actually completes tonight's pitches. Yay! The judges have graded and will grade each pitch based on a scoring rubric that focused on 4 categories. These categories include content, structure, communication, presentation, effectiveness, and innovative idea quality and vitality. I'm going to repeat that. Content structure, communication, presentation effectiveness, and innovative idea quality and vitality. The pitch that scores the highest number of points will win the top prize of $5,000. While we wait for the judges to tally up the final scores, we want to invite Stephen Ponzillo from Regions, who powered tonight's event. Stephen, are you there?
I am here, Esther. Can you hear me all right?
I sure can. Welcome, Stephen. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I am absolutely blown away, as I'm sure everyone else is, at experiencing these pitches. I am not in any way envious of our judges right now, because those were extraordinary. I am so excited and humbled to be part of this event and to represent Regions in this way. You know, Esther, at Regions, our mission statement is to make life better. And it's more than a tagline for us. It's what we do every single day, making life better for our customers, our associates, and the communities we call home. So for us, it's not about giving money or being a sponsor. It's about being purpose-led and performance-driven, focusing our time, our expertise, and our resources on real partnerships that create pathways for success. Across Tampa Bay, we are proud to engage in many partnerships that create success through financial wellness, education, and especially economic opportunity. That's why we're so honored to participate in St. Pete Pitch Night tonight and in every time that this occurs, along with our friends from USF St. Pete and everybody online tonight. As you have seen, and as we have all experienced, Pitch Night is all about showcasing extraordinary entrepreneurs whose creativity and hard work exemplify what makes the Sunshine City the vibrant city that we all love. And what's more, we know that smart entrepreneurship can fuel the kind of inclusive growth that Grow Smarter talks about and that all of us want to see to benefit every person in every part of our city. So let me just finish by saying thank you. Thank you for being part of this amazing event, this important event, and thank you for the opportunity to partner in priming our city for future growth. Back to you, Esther.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and thank you for all that Regions does for the community and for small business. I am a proud Regions account holder, so thank you. We now have a favor to ask the audience. We want to know which startup would you choose as the St. Pete Pitch Night's top pitch? The winner of the Audience Choice Award will receive a $500 cash prize. So what we're looking for now is your choice for St. Pete Night's top pitch. That is a mouthful. We're gonna launch a Audience Choice Award poll. The first one that you're gonna see is going to be a tester. We're gonna ask you, and I believe we're doing the tester. We're gonna ask you your favorite color. Are we still doing the tester, guys?
Yes, we should be doing that. Just one moment.
Fantastic. We're going to test it to make sure that everyone has the ability to respond. and you'll see it will say, what's your favorite color? And it's going to give you right at about 30 seconds for your input.
Oh man. Sorry guys, just one moment.
No worries. I want to thank again, thank all of the pitches. I see the comments in the chat, and I want to mirror. I am no way, shape, or form envious of the judges tonight. They have